The great crystal hall floated in the darkness between stars, its walls glowing with soft blue light. Inside, 12 different alien species sat around a massive table that seemed to be made of pure starlight. This was the Galactic Council, and today they were scared. Council Prime Vex Tar stood at the head of the table. His green scales caught the light as he moved, and his forearms gestured nervously. In all his 300 years of leading the council, he had never called an emergency meeting like this one. "Friends," he said, his voice echoing in the vast chamber, "we have a problem, a big problem." Ambassador Creeks of the Herd Gemini shifted in his chair, his tentacles curled and uncurled with worry. He had been the first to bring the news, and even now he could hardly believe it himself. "Tell them what you told me," Vextar said to Creeks. Creeks stood up slowly. His voice was quiet when he spoke. "3 of our scout fleets have gone missing. All 3 were sent to study a small planet in the outer rim, a planet called Earth V." Other council members looked confused. Representative Thal of the Feridian Empire leaned forward. "Missing? You mean destroyed?" "No," Creek said. "Missing means we don't know what happened to them. We sent signals, we sent search teams. Nothing. It's like they just disappeared." Commander Youth of the Iron Claw Federation laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. 3 fleets gone. What kind of weapons could a primitive planet have? Our ships have shields that can stop planet-killer bombs. "That's what we thought too," said a new voice. Everyone turned to look at Research Director Zen of the Collective Minds. Zen rarely spoke in council meetings. When he did, people listened. "We also sent ships to this Earth," Zen continued. "Bioships, living vessels that can't be detected by most technology. We sent 12 of them. Only 1 came back." The room went silent. Bioships were the most advanced vessels in the galaxy. They were alive, intelligent, and nearly impossible to catch or destroy. "What happened to the one that returned?" Vextar asked. Zen's large black eyes seemed to dim. The pilot was changed, traumatized. He kept saying the same thing over and over. "They knew we were coming. They were ready." Admiral Korax of the Star Empire slammed his fist on the table. "This is impossible. We're talking about a species that hasn't even left their own solar system. Our scouts reported they still use chemical rockets." "Our scouts," said a quiet voice from the corner, "are also missing." Everyone looked at Speaker Nulla of the Void Watches. The Void Watches were known for their stealth technology. Their ships could pass through the center of a star without being detected. "How many?" Vextar asked. "All of them," Nulla replied. "Every ship we sent to observe this Earth, 27 vessels, gone." The council chamber erupted in shocked voices. Representatives spoke in a dozen different languages, but the fear was the same in all of them. "Order!" Vextar shouted. "Order!" When the room was quiet again, he looked around the table. "This is why I called this meeting. 7 different civilizations have lost ships near Earth. That's over 100 vessels and thousands of crew members." "But that's not the worst part," Creeks added. His tentacles were now wrapped tightly around his body. 2 days ago, we received a transmission from Earth." He pressed a button on his chair, and a hologram appeared above the table. The image showed a small blue and green planet orbiting a yellow star. The transmission was sent on all frequencies we use for communication. It was sent in our languages, all of them. The hologram changed to show text in dozens of alien scripts. They all said the same thing. "We know you're watching us. We want to talk." How do they know our languages? Whispered Representative Thal. They learned them, Zen said, from our crews. The room went cold. The idea that a primitive species could capture and interrogate advanced alien crews was terrifying, but the idea that they could learn entire languages from those interrogations was even worse. There's more, Creeks said. The hologram changed again, showing what looked like a human structure. Our long-range sensors picked up this 2 weeks ago. It's a space station in Earth's orbit, built with technology we don't recognize. Commander Youth leaned forward. That's impossible. You said they use chemical rockets. They did, Creeks replied. Last month. The station wasn't there last month. So they built a space station in weeks, Admiral Korak said, using unknown technology. Not unknown, Zen said quietly. Look closer at the design. The hologram zoomed in on the station. The council members gasped. Parts of the station looked familiar, very familiar. Those are our engine designs, Thal whispered. And those weapon ports, those are Ironclaw military specifications. And that section, there added, Speaker Nulla uses Void Watch stealth plating. The terrible truth settled over the council like a dark cloud. The humans hadn't just captured their ships and crews, they had studied the technology, and somehow, impossibly, they had improved on it. How long do we have? Vextar asked. Until what? Creeks replied. Until they come for us. The question hung in the air like a death sentence. These were the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. They had conquered hundreds of worlds. Their technology was thousands of years ahead of anything a primitive species should possess. But something about these humans was different. They didn't follow the rules. They didn't behave like other primitive species. When faced with superior technology, most species either worshipped it or ran from it. The humans stole it. We need more information, Vextar said finally. I'm authorizing the release of all classified data about Earth. Every observation, every contact, every missing ship report. We need to understand what we're dealing with and if they truly are a threat. What then? Commander Youth asked. Vextar's forearms spread wide in a gesture of uncertainty. Then we'll do what we've always done. We'll adapt. We'll overcome. We'll survive. But as the council members left the Crystal Hall, each returning to their homeworld to prepare for the unknown, none of them felt confident about their chances. For the first time in galactic history, the Hunt-Eaters had become the hunted, and somewhere in a small solar system on the outer rim, the humans were waiting. The council chambers had been converted into a courtroom of sorts. 3 witnesses sat at the center of the great crystal hall, each one a survivor of what the council was now calling the Earth incident. Their testimonies would help determine humanity's threat level. Scout Captain Trix of the Auridian Empire was the first to speak. His usually proud bearing was gone, replaced by nervous fidgeting. The Feridian were known throughout the galaxy for their advanced stealth technology, but something had shaken this experienced officer badly. We approached Earth using our best invisible ships, Trix began, his voice steady but quiet. Our stealth technology has never failed before. We've observed thousands of primitive worlds without being detected. Council Prime Vextar leaned forward. What made this different? They saw us coming from 3 star systems away, Trix replied. We picked up radio transmissions, military chatter. They called our ships bogies and tracked our approach with something called radar. Representative Thal looked confused. Radar? What is radar?
It's a primitive detection method, Trix explained. They bounce electromagnetic waves off objects to track them. It shouldn't work on our stealth ships. Our hulls are designed to absorb all forms of energy, but it did. How? Vextar asked. Trix nodded slowly. Not only did it work, but they seemed to know exactly what our ships could do. When we tried to go invisible, they switched to thermal tracking. When we masked our heat signatures, they used something called gravitational sensors. The council members exchanged worried glances. Gravitational sensors were advanced technology that only a few species had developed. How did they get gravitational sensors? Admiral Corax demanded. We don't know, Trix admitted, but that wasn't the worst part. When their fighter jets surrounded our fleet, we realized they had studied space combat tactics extensively.